before I start, I just want to apologize if you hear any cars in the background. I'm sorry. I guess everyone and their mother decided to drive behind my apartment today. So, I previously made a video, I think I mentioned it in my trailer reaction video for this movie, that this was my most anticipated movie, not only of the year, but of all time, and I am still going to stand by that statement. And I also stated in the video that if this movie sucks, I will say that it sucks, because I owe you guys the truth, I owe you my honesty. And that being said, this movie fucking rocked. This is, of course, going to be a spoiler-free review, so I'm going to be as blunt as possible. I'm going to start with stuff I loved, though. The most important thing about Alien and Aliens are the characters, to me at least. If you don't have good characters, you don't have a compelling story, and it just becomes a non-stop, whatever action horror monster movie that no one cares about. So going into this movie, I was crossing my fingers, like, please make me like the characters. Please make me relate to the characters. Please make me love the characters. I loved the characters. I think Kaylee Spaney did a fantastic job as the lead, Rain Carradine. I think Andy, her android brother, stole the movie, and you can't have good characters without good dialogue. And I gotta say, aside from, I guess this is an issue I have with the movie, aside from the stupid fan servicey quotes from previous Alien movies, aside from those, which I feel like were kind of shoehorned in by the studio, there was one scene specifically, I won't go into detail, I'm not gonna say what line it was, but there was one scene where a character said half of a quote and paused, and I was like, don't do it. And then he said the last half of it, and I was like, fucking hell, man, they did it. Aside from that, though, the dialogue is fucking great. The colony scenes at the beginning of the movie were amazing. You felt how dirty, grimy, and cold this place was. This colony absolutely belongs in the Alien universe. I think it was called Jackson Star Colony, and it wasn't just it wasn't just Hadley's Hope, you know, the colony, the LV-426 colony from Aliens. It wasn't just a copy paste of that. It was very much its own thing. It was dirty, grimy, dark, cold, wet, gross, sweaty. Everyone there is miserable. You felt it. And I honestly even wish we kind of spent more time in the colony. You know, sure, it maybe would have been a bit of a slower start to the movie, but I just wasn't, when the characters left the colony to go to the station, in the back of my head, I was like, you know what? I could do another, maybe even 10 minutes of this colony. This movie is literally a Fede Alvarez Alien movie. It's not him just copying and pasting Alien and Aliens. It very much felt like he was doing his own thing. Most of the time, like I said, there were some dialogue choices. There are some other choices that they made that were very much Alien or Aliens. More Alien than Aliens, but there were just a couple of parts that was just like, okay, this is Alien. But aside from that, it was so its own thing. So the suspense of this movie, literally multiple times throughout the movie, I'm sitting there like, fuck. Meanwhile, my girlfriend is sitting next to me like, no. Now with this movie focusing on the practical effects, you know, Fede Alvarez very much prioritized making every creature in person, in real life, to scale. This movie probably has the best looking aliens we've ever gotten in an Alien movie. There was not a single moment with an alien that I was like, oh, that looks fake. Now, of course, this movie isn't perfect. I do have my issues with it. It wasn't exactly the level that I wanted it to be. I'm not saying I was disappointed in the movie. It just made some decisions that I wasn't a fan of. I felt like this movie had a lot of excellent buildup. Similar to Alien, except the difference is that Alien has a phenomenal payoff, because those last 20 minutes of Alien is just like pure shit hits the fan, bodies are dropping, terror, awesomeness. And this movie had a lot of that similar buildup, where we're spending a lot of time with the characters. There's a lot of dialogue, which I loved. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, I am just waiting for shit to hit the fan, and it's gonna get fucking wild. And I was a little underwhelmed, but I feel like on a rewatch, I'm gonna understand the movie better and think, okay, it doesn't need to be this big scale thing, which I'm not saying I was expecting Aliens scale. I was just expecting a little bit more than what we got, but again, on a rewatch, I may completely not even think about it. Which, by the way, this is 100% a theater movie. If you're thinking about watching this movie, please see it in the theater. Please. Okay, now I'm going to say my biggest issue with the movie, aside from the fan service, aside from a certain specific thing throughout the movie that bugged me, but not to a full extent. I just can't really go into detail without spoilers. But I will say my biggest issue with the movie is the last act. I was fully planning on doing an out of theater reaction video to this movie, and because of that ending, because of that last act, I was just mad and I didn't even want to. Because I knew it wouldn't do the rest of the movie justice. I knew that if I just grabbed my phone and made an out of theater reaction video, it would have just been like, fuck, it was doing so well until that ending. Again, I owe you guys my honesty. I'm going to give you the truth, and I'm going to tell you, yeah, no, this movie was not perfect in any means, but the good definitely outweighs the bad by a lot. And I will say the placement of this movie in my Alien ranking, I wanted this movie to be third place behind Alien and Aliens, and I can firmly say it absolutely is. I think this blows the prequels out of the water. It's not even close. This movie felt like Alien. It felt like an Alien movie. I mean, the reason I didn't do an out of theater reaction is because I knew I had to give myself time. I had to sleep on it. I had to go to work the next day and just think about it. And that's all I did this morning at work. I just thought about the movie all day long. And you know what? The good of this movie is fucking good. As of right now on my Letterboxd, it's sitting at a 3.5. And who knows, on a rewatch, that may go up. And it was up. It was very high up. I was sitting at like a 4.5 out of 5. But then that last act just threw me off. But that's just a personal thing. It's just they made a decision that I'm just not a fan of in this universe. And who knows? I may like it more on a rewatch. I really don't know. I will let you guys know when I make a spoiler video. Once again, if you haven't seen this movie, please see it in the theater. If you have seen this movie, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Follow my Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd. They will be in the description below. Subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like. I would really appreciate it. See you guys later.